I'm just out here at Campus Safety. I just picked up the First Aid CPR AED card. Took like a 7-hour training, well 6.5, but who's counting, last Saturday. So this is a requirement to be a teacher. I really admire that it's laminated this time. I literally went all across the campus, all across the dorms and such, just to find the Campus Safety place. So I finally found it after what, like 20 minutes or 15-20 minutes. But just to redeem myself or whatever, maybe it's a good thing that I don't know exactly on campus where Campus Safety is, even though I've been a student here for 3 years, because it probably implies that I've always been safe and don't need to go to Campus Safety as often. And again, the only time I had to go there was to pick up a First Aid CPR AED card. But it was quite an adventure running around the property of Vanguard University. So every time I sign out on that paper and it's in the afternoon past 1 p.m., I put military time, and I always wonder if anyone would notice, and so far no one noticed. But there's one time I was filling it out and I noticed military time, and I'm like, oh, someone else used military time, and then I looked and it was me from the previous day. But indeed, whenever students ask me what time it is and it's in the afternoon, or Royal Rangers in the evening, I always use military time, and they're like, what? And I said, it's military time. I said, I have it on my watch, I have it on my phone, everywhere. Today's October 20th, and the only real big thing exciting today was the Great ShakeOut that they do every year. Since it fell on the 20th, 10:20, it took place at 10:20 a.m. like they do every year. I remember like it was October 17th, one Thursday at 10:17. So it was basically a big earthquake drill, duck and cover under the desks, and then evacuate out into the field for several minutes. It's October 24th, 2022, and today was quite fun back there. I was juggling for the crossing guard ladies and then all the students that were going by on their bikes and such and in their cars. And the other day, both crossing guard ladies were asking me if I had my juggling stuff, because they knew I could juggle from last year when I was substituting. And I said no, so I brought them today just the juggle bugs, and I got to juggle 3 and 4. And you know, they just are beyond impressed. They just love it. And then a lot of the students came by and they loved watching it too. And that's why I do what I do. I just like seeing the happiness and the smiles on people and such, and making their day. And this upcoming Friday on October 28th, I'm going to be here at St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church for their Fall Fest and juggling for the 2nd year in a row. So that should be very fun. Very excited about that. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and that's the bell. I just got done grading 2 classes of papers. Well, actually, technically half of both classes, so like 1 full class size of papers. So that was their end of the unit assessment, part 1. Then part 2 was on Illuminate, so that was online that they did with their Chromebooks. And yeah, just right in the nick of time. I mean, literally like 5-10 seconds before. I'm actually feeling more comfortable going up to people who raise their hands during something like a quiz or a test, some form of assessment, because before I was very nervous because I can't get them the answer, but I could guide them to it, but I had to learn how to guide students to the answer without giving them the answer. And today I think I felt more confident than ever. So it was the Unit 2 assessment, which was all about linear inequalities and graphing them and shading and all that fun stuff. And then there were also workbook checks that I did while they were taking the assessment for both 2nd and 3rd period. Of all the sections, all 20-some, like 25 sections, I checked like 5 of them, and it was out of 100 points. And then I returned them today while they were taking the test. So it's very busy, but it was very fun. I actually enjoy what I do. It's, again, my passion. I don't really mind the tedious work of grading or stuff like that. It's just I'm learning in the process. And tomorrow, Wednesday, I'm going to be starting Unit 4. So we're going to be learning about functions and such. So I already went through tons of lessons beforehand and got a lot of worksheets made for them. So that should be fun, about functions or machines where you have an input and an output. So that starts tomorrow. And I attended FCA for the first time today. It's like the first time in 9 years. I used to be a captain for 2 years at Newport Harbor High School's Fellowship of Christian Athletes. Without it, I don't think I'd be an author today. I mentioned FCA in my book, and I showed it to the two teachers that hold FCA, and they were both surprised that I was an author, and not only that, but I mentioned Ensign and FCA. So I was just observing. It was an excellent time. When I was a student here, I was in Bible club. Well, it was a different club. It wasn't FCA, but I went to Bible club. And now I'm heading off to the library for an hour where I probably volunteer for the tutoring that they have here, and then that's every Tuesday and Thursday. And then Royal Rangers tonight from like 6:30 to 8, and I'm probably going to be there till 8:30. So yeah, a very big day. So all my Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are like to the max, very big days. So anyway, but I love what I do. It's not really work. Like, choose work you love and you'll never work a day in your life. It's passion that drives me. So here's a little original encouragement that I thought of yesterday based on something that I overheard in one of the classes that I was observing in the middle school after I was done teaching math. And it's this: anybody can be successful if they choose to. It does take determination, but you can do whatever you set your heart to do. But again, it's your choice. So yesterday I taught Unit 4 Lesson 1, which went good, but for the first time, I actually felt that second period got it better than third period. I don't know what happened third period, but I think my better lesson was second period. It's always vice versa. And today I'm teaching Lesson 2, pretty excited about it, all about function notation. And just making several more copies of the worksheets that I made. I'm finding a worksheet for almost every single lesson, and then I put it together and then make copies upon approval, as well as the quizzes. So I really enjoyed how this lesson turned out today. So we were doing function notation, and one of the activities was all about birthdays, my specialty. And not only that, but their example was Abraham Lincoln, February 12th. And so for rule B, you take the person's name and for the input, and the output is their birthday. And so then it said fill in the rest of the table, and there were 3 entries. And so I said, may I make a suggestion? Let's put Theodore Roosevelt. So we put Theodore Roosevelt for the input, and the output was October 27th, because he was born October 27th, 1858. And I asked the class, so why do you think we chose Theodore Roosevelt, or why do you think I chose Theodore Roosevelt? And sometimes it took a couple of guesses, but they're like, oh, because today is his birthday. So yes, today is Theodore Roosevelt's birthday. And then I asked, okay, could someone just give me a president, just any president? And so, for example, one of the students said, okay, Obama. I said, okay, when Obama's the input, the output would be August 4th. Another person said Biden. So, okay, when Biden's the input, the output would be November 20th. And I took the president, I said, okay, the output would be their birthday, and since I have all the president's birthdays memorized, that was fun. In third period, one person said, did you just go memorize them all? And I'm like, yeah, birthdays, death dates, term dates, and all that. Later he asked me if I had an eidetic memory or photographic memory. I said, no, I don't. And so the other rule was just the opposite. Here they give you the birth date, and you have to say what the name of the person is. Well, the problem is it's not a function, because there's lots of outputs. First plan was a function because everyone was only born once. The second one is not a function. And then I said, well, the world has 7.98 billion people the last time I checked, so there's probably millions of people who were born on this date, that date, this date, that date. And I was listing like all the birthdays in order of the people seated in the front row and such, and then I got like some surprised looks, and that is because I practically have almost every student's birthday memorized. And then after I was done teaching, one of the students like, that was a very impressive lesson, and so I just really enjoyed the lesson and such.